everything was great, and then I heard something I've never heard at a ski resort, and that was a blood-curdling scream.
Making his case on the witness stand, Terry Sanderson says Oscar winner Gwyneth Paltrow plowed into him on a Deer Valley ski run 7 years ago, a moment he says changed his life forever.
It was like somebody was out of control and gonna hit a tree and was gonna die. And that's what I had until I was hit.
Sanderson is suing for at least $300,000. He says the crash left him with serious injuries, including broken ribs and permanent brain damage.
The fists and the poles were right there at the bottom of my shoulder blades. Never been hit that hard, and I'm flying.
But under cross-examination, the 76-year-old was forced to acknowledge some inconsistencies in his recollection of events.
I don't doubt you. I misspeak a lot.
Paltrow's defense team also presented animated recreations of the incident to illustrate testimony from her ski instructor.
He said when she was talking to him, he simply said, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Eric Christensen says he didn't see the actual collision, but believes Sanderson was to blame.
What indicates that he was the upper hill skier is that I witnessed him coming much faster than anybody else on the slope, coming down the hill.
Afterwards, he said Sanderson didn't appear to be seriously hurt.
He had a wonderful opportunity to tell patrol, "I am hurt, I need help."
Paltrow, the actress-turned-lifestyle mogul, testified Sanderson hit her from behind, and she's not responsible for his injuries.
Mr. Sanderson categorically hit me on that ski slope, and that is the truth.
The jury also heard from ski patroller and EMT Whitney Smith, who brought Sanderson down on the slope on a sled and stayed with him for about 2 hours after the collision. She said Sanderson had injured ribs, but was not showing signs of a serious head injury. Guys, back to you.
All right, Miguel, thank you very much.
With us now with her perspective is NBC's senior legal correspondent, Laura Jarrett. Laura, good morning.
Hey, Laura.
Good morning, guys.
This seems like one of those typical kind of he said, she said. It's basically who you believe at the end of the day, right?
This entire thing is going to come down to credibility, and partly because we don't have any video. There was some dispute, I think, about whether there was a GoPro video, but that doesn't exist. And even the witness testimony, as you heard, is somewhat conflicting on this. The ski instructor for Gwyneth Paltrow didn't actually see the moment of impact. So this is all going to come down to who does the jury believe, since their two sides are completely diametrically opposed about who hit who first.
A lot of analysts talked on Friday that Gwyneth Paltrow was a good witness for her case. How was Mr. Sanderson yesterday for his?
You know, it's hard to say. He was a little bit faltering on some critical facts. A little bit of inconsistency showed up there. But he clearly was very emotional, and perhaps the jury found that sympathetic at times. I think the hardest thing for him is that contemporaneously, right after this happened, he said, "I'm okay." Other people testified that he said, "I was doing just fine." Now, perhaps, you know, he didn't want to say he was hurt. A lot of people, when they've been in an accident, you know, don't want to be rushed to the hospital. That's okay. And the jury's just going to have to decide, again, whose side do they really believe?
One of the weird things I think about this case is it happened 7 years ago. So I was like, wait a minute. It happened 7 years ago. Only now we're seeing them in court. Why did it take so long?
It's not clear, and it's something the jury might have a knock against him. He waited 3 years before he filed suit, and that's something that may come into the calculation for trying to figure out what exactly the motivations are for him.
How does wealth, fame, all the things that Gwyneth Paltrow has, how does that figure into this case?
Yeah, it's always hard to know whether the jury is going to punish her for that or whether they're going to put the thumb on the scale for her in this. I think the fact that she's symbolically only asking for $1 might be interesting to the jury. They might say, why wouldn't she just settle this? Why not just pay the money? It's obviously a lot of money, $300,000, but for her, it might not be a lot. And so the jury might say, well, maybe she really has a case here. Maybe she has a reason to fight this if she's actually taken it to trial.
And quickly, her kids, are they going to take the stand? We were wondering about that.
It seems like a sort of a risky move, you know, especially for a high-profile celebrity. You really want to put your kids on the stand. But again, maybe she's trying to signal to the jury how much she really believes in her innocence here.
Okay. All right.
We'll
Laura,
see.
thank you so
Thank you, Laura.
much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.